Holla ballers and a bro fist to you all. And as you can see, after 12 long months, we are home again. 12 months since the waters flooded down these walls, since the pipes burst, and since destruction and chaos reigned supreme here in the hallowed halls of the PG studio. We are sat here once more. We are currently, if you're not aware, wherever you're listening, wherever you're watching this, in the middle of the Return to the Office subathon extended time. I've been living here in the office for the last 4 days. I have been home once to grab a pair of underwear, but other than that, we have stayed here at the building. We have been live 24 hours a day for 4.5 days. We're currently in the middle of day 5. And after the most recent explosion of support from everybody, as we rebuild that which was destroyed, as so much stuff was during the flood, we are, as you can see, supported as we are running a civil war on Twitch, where our wonderful subscribers can fall into one of 3 categories. They're either red, blue, or purple. There are some who are still sitting on the fence. Team Blue supporting us. Team Red now joining that team as they had a referendum. Yes, there has been political civil war and upheaval during this tournament. They held a referendum to join forces with the Blues to fight the evil Purples. The Purple team representing pure luck and chance as to when this event ends. And if you're watching this and you're catching it as soon as possible, in approximately 3.5 hours, the Chaos coin flip will take place, which, as of my understanding right now, is going to be approximately 10 hours of YOLOing. Of course, we cannot forget Team Dodgers, who have managed to dodge, at this point, we came into it with, what, 3.5? So they've dodged nearly 11,500 Twitch subscriptions and are still in the chat without a subscription. Team Dodge are the tanks you want on your screens in any MMO, as they seemingly are impervious to being hit. There you can go. You can see Team Dodge. Although many of them, I think, have changed colours to show their support. It is fully understood. Not everybody can subscribe on Twitch. I totally get it. But they have joined colours anyway in order to be a part and show their support for their respective teams. It's Team Dodge. Team Dodge is doing their jobs. But of course, that's not why you're here right now. It is, of course, drama time. We are going to do it. This is not going to be the finished look for drama time, obviously. Part of the subathon, the whole point, the whole reason we did this is so that the viewers and the supporters who have contributed to this can see the tangible effect of what their subscriptions are doing in terms of rebuilding, reforming, new stuff arriving, which we've had today. Although I am told for certain reasons I'm not allowed to see some of the stuff that has arrived today. But to actually physically see where that money's going, because as many as you well know, we don't waste any money here. We do our best to conserve, which is the only reason we're still here after 12 months with the disruption it made to our content, is the fact that we saved as much as possible, or I did, in order to make sure my team could keep their jobs and do their work. So I just want to say to all our supporters, thank you, because, you know, we did, my wife was very stressed out, my family was very stressed out. We made some sacrifices to make sure that jobs could be saved, knowing that next month we'll have the office back, next month we'll have the office back, next month we have the office back, all that stuff we went through, and here we are, we're sat here. It happened. It got spooky, but we sorted it, and my payoff to you, hopefully, is not only to show you what we're doing with it, but actually reward you with the content you've been waiting for and deserve over these years. So let's have some fun. Let's not get emotional. We're here to have a good time, which is the whole point. So let's do it. Let's do this. Season of Discovery. I can't really type right now. Season of Discovery is full of... I haven't got phrase for it, so I'm going to say... let's just say is weird. Let's do that. It's actually full of weirdos, but we'll go with this. And our name box here is a slight alteration to our website supporters. These are the top sub-gifters this subathon. Although I don't want to type this name. In fact, I should change this. Despite the horrors he has caused. The absolute horrors. Either love him or hate him. I'll go with Brawler. He knows who he is. And of course, not only one of our top supporters of this subathon, but also was here at the studio yesterday, moving couches and carrying heavy things, along with the good lady Zodalin, who have come to visit us. And we've got several other visitors coming over the course of this subathon, which is great. Praise King James. As you can see, the purple team quite like King James. Everybody else hates King James in the appropriate fashion. Guess which team he's on. Guess which team he's on. Okay. Let's go. Let's have some fun. I've just had a shower. First one in 5 days. You should check that clip. Preacher! Look down the list of NA Season of Discovery servers on a fine Saturday afternoon, and you'll see their populations are full, high, and low. The low one is Penance, Australia. This is where I decided to make my home. The first few days of Discovery was one of the most enjoyable weekends of my life. I rolled my favorite character, Apali, and leveled with two of my best IRL friends, Alandra and King James. Alandra also plays Apali, and King James is a priest. These are recreations of the characters they were playing when they first met in Stormwind Stockade in 2005. Wow, that's really cool. That's super cool. When they got married a few years later, clay models of their WoW characters were on top of the cake. Oh, Elandra and James got married. Oh, that's nice. For 3 solid, almost sleepless days, we quested together. We explored, we discovered. It was incredible. I adopted the role of tank. Elandra was our deeps and James our holy healer. That sounds wrong. We absolutely destroyed Elwyn, Darkshore, Westfall, Duskwood, the Dead Mines, and Shadowfang Keep. And by the end of day 2, we had our blue crafted gear and our Verrigan's fists. And by the end of day 3, we had all the dungeon gear and most of our runes. King James kept a close eye on various Discord channels for rumors of rune locations. Loser. A puzzle gamer at heart, she has a real knack for recognizing and following in-game clues. Thanks to King James' insight, Elandra and I might have been the first paladins in the world to get the Divine Storm rune, 2-manning the Tower of Athalak's orb stage by taking it in turns to bubble kite everything out of the tower so the other could loot. We learned about that last week. When we got that rune, King James posted the solution and location on Discord. It didn't show up on Wowhead for at least another 24 hours. Hey, well played. That's awesome. That's really cool. With all our runes collected, we suddenly hit a ceiling. We didn't want to PvP, so there was only one place to go. The Black Fathom Deeps raid. But you can't 3-man Black Fathom Deeps. Elandra and I left King James to work on this problem while we both went bleary-eyed from sleep debt to the first birthday of a mutual friend's son. It was a bring-your-own-plate party. I brought a plate of my wife's excellent jelly slice. What's a jelly slice? Just a jelly? With generous layers of raspberry jelly and pale condensed milk custard. Oh, it's a trifle. Oh, okay. All on a soft biscuit base. Yeah, we call that a trifle. It's a trifle. Okay, it's a trifle. That's what we call it. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of trifle. Trifle can stay the hell away from me. I'm not a fan of trifle. Oh, yeah, you see all the euros. Oh. The partygoers swarmed the fairy bread and ignored my jelly slice. I would also have ignored the trifle. Yeah, I would have stayed. You're not sure what trifle is? Okay, let me bring it up for you guys. Trifle. I mean, this isn't exactly the same, but I mean, it's pretty close. So, hold on. This works, right? Whoop. There we go. This is a trifle. So it has like, in the UK, it has like biscuits and stuff at the bottom. And then it has jelly. Then it has custard cream. Sometimes it has fruit, and then it has more biscuits, and then it has cream and cherries on top. Yeah. It's I consider these to be like absolutely awful. They're just such a weird combination of flavors and stuff. Not a fan. Not a fan myself. It's very, very sweet. Very sweet. It's just a sugar fiesta. That's all it is. That's what it... So there you go. What really pissed me off is Alandra brought the fairy bread by stopping at the shop on the way to the party and picking it up. Everybody ate it, and nobody went near my jelly slice. That's like Dratnos winning the Secret Santa without even bothering to do it. Yeah, he clearly had the best gift. The partygoers were all over it. We sat around the adults' table, sipping some beers and trying very hard not to talk about World of Warcraft with all these thoroughly noobish people. Yeah, it's tough. By the end of the party, there were plastic plates with abandoned pieces of jelly slice all over the house. I was halfway home when my phone rang. King James had found us a raid starting in 15 minutes. The first BFD raid on the entire server. I put my pedal to the metal and raced home. My mind swam with imposter syndrome hit me. I was expected to be the main tank. I didn't know how to main tank. Was my gear good enough? Was my spec right? Could I actually do it? The first thing I did when I logged on was hit the auction house and blow 10 gold on elixirs and food. The raid invite arrived as I waited in Menethil for the boat to Aberdeen. Elandra and King James were already there. The raid leader was a warrior called Decadence. He shared a Discord link and I joined. Hello, I said in his channel, over the general chatter of excited raiders. Hello, replied Decadence. Not gonna lie, I didn't think we'd get a full raid tonight. Yeah, me too. This is awesome. Do you know much about this raid? I asked. No, not gonna lie, I haven't even looked, Decadence said. Ooh, a blind raid. How exciting, said King James in her silky exotic accent. Hold on. A blind raid. How exciting. The chatter stopped and everyone froze. I think because it was the first time classic World of Warcraft players had heard a girl speak. I, of course, rolled my eyes. Season of Discovery is often called the Season of Dads. Is it? Is that a thing? Because almost everyone who plays is a middle-aged man. I mean... not only, right? This is kind of unnerving. It's my 40th birthday in Sunday. And I just took a naked shower in a horse cubicle with a big pile of horse shit where the shower exploded. Could be worse. It could be worse, right? It could be good times. Yeah, good times. I mean, I had a fun day. Because almost everyone who plays is a middle-aged man. Nevertheless, though, hearing King James for the first time never fails to reduce these dads to nervous teenage boys. Oh, cringe. The silence lasted 10 seconds. And I swear to you, Preach, and I'm not going to lie, a rogue called Turtle and Fish said, My lady, can I write a poem about you? Sure, said King James. Elandra whispered me, lol. He loves that his wife has this effect on men. Not gonna lie, that's really weird, said Decadence. I looked down the raid list. Aside from me, Elandra, James, Decadence, and Turtle and Fish, we had another paladin, a hunter and a druid and a mage. 9 people. Who's the 10th? I asked. I was gonna ask, do you want a second tank? You're not a tank? No, I'm DPS. Not gonna lie, tanking is pretty shit. Well, I think we need 2 tanks. Okay, I guess we'll invite Brackers then, said Decadence. I knew exactly who Decadence meant and why he was reluctant. Brackers was another paladin who seemed to spend all his time policing trade chat. If you called LF Tank for DM, Brackers would go, "Oi! Can't do Diamol at level 25, mate! Or Dead Mines, is that what you mean, mate? Because we call that VC, Diamol is DM, Dead Mines is VC, idiot!" He also loved telling people chatting casually in trade chat to leave trade chat because that's not the place for chatting. The channel is for trading. Since I had logged on for this raid, Brackers had been spamming full bis, tank, looking for group, BFD. This had sparked confusion with people replying, really? Full bis? That's bullshit. And Brackers firing back things like, full bis means all tanking runes in Season of Discovery. It's nothing to do with gear. Go back to Elwyn Forest, you fucking piece of shit. And much to my heart's discontent, Brackers joins the raid. As soon as he entered, I mean mere moments after he joined the raid. This is like full clear, right? I'm not surrounded by complete peasants. Don't want to waste my time on people who are looking to kill like 4 bosses or whatever. It's literally the first raid. We'll go as far as we can, said Decadence. Alright, summon then. There's no warlock. Get on the boat. Fuck's sake! Doing a raid? No warlock? No health stones? You's all a bag of shit! Said Backers. We stood around chatting and waited for Brackers to arrive as he didn't leave the group. Most of us had watched Esfan's stream of the raid from BlizzCon, so we knew vaguely what to expect early on, but of course we would play better. Never forget the moment your son preach wrecked Esfand at Warcraft Rumble. The mage began passing out water. The hunter jumped around. Eventually we realized Brackers was running from Oberdeen. Why didn't you fly to Astronar? Asked Decadence. Never been to this shit continent before. No good runes here or anything, mate, replied Brackers. While amusing at first, the implications of this statement dawned on me slowly. No Kalimdor, eh? That meant you didn't have Divine Storm. No Darkshore quest rewards. No gear from WC. What exactly was Mr. Full Biss wearing? It turns out Brackers, the big mouth, was dressed head to toe in full paw. I moused over his gear in wonderment. This motherfucking paladin, all head to toe, had leather wrists with agility. His booties were a green of the whale. His weapon was a weird axe with a shadow damage proc. I say he was dressed chest to toe instead of head to toe because he had no helmet at all. Like you preach. I mean... Well, I've been doing shit, all right? I mean, I've got 3 epics from BFD, I'll have you know. I'm pretty fucking kitted out. Maybe this Brackers guy knows what's up. I could already see this was going to be rough. Nevertheless, the energy of the raid could not be contained. This was going to be the first raid of the whole server. This was a moment to prove ourselves. It was only now that I noticed he never spoke over comms, despite being in the channel with us. In fact... Brackers would never use his voice at all. Let me pull, he said in raid warning. Why? Trust me, bro. I have seen everything to do with this raid. Every pull, every trash pack, every boss. The trash was a large elite snake. Brackers ran forward and pulled it before the previous trash had been killed in order to, in his words, keep pace. He died to the snake before any of us had changed target. Oh my god, explained King James over Discord, as I picked up the snake with a quick throw of the shield. Where's the heals, though? Excuse me. Brackers, how much health do you have, I asked. More than enough for this raid, mate. No, said Decadence. Maybe we'll let the tank who's wearing a helmet and not a dogshit shield pull from now on, okay? Fuck you, said Brackers. But he didn't pull again and did not leave the raid. Presently, we reached the first boss. It took an embarrassingly long time to realize we had to click the 3 pillars to activate him. Same. But our faithful puzzle solver King James, she figured it out quick. We rebuffed. My whole body buzzed with anxiety. I was about to main tank my first raid boss, which was the first raid boss to be tanked on the entire server. I was nervous, anxious. I took a deep breath. 3, 2, 1, and go. And I immediately missed the platform and fell in the water. You fucking noob. Elandra howled with laughter. Brachus ran forward and pulled it while I splashed about in the water. The beach was blocked by a whirlpool that bounced me away when I approached and stole my buffs. Other people started to land in the water with me, but they seemed to get out okay. By the time I managed to step foot on dry land again, the boss was at 50%. I hopped over the gaps and was just about to taunt when suddenly I got hit by something and thrown back into the water. I swore so loudly my wife came into the room to check I was okay. I'm fine, I said. Just playing Warcraft. He shut the door. Ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you with absolute certainty, I never hit the boss once before it died. The happy shouts of victory from my team felt a bit hollow, but the boss was dead. The loot was amazing, and I was here for it. I couldn't really be too upset. Decadence spammed every channel he could find with news of glorious victory. Not gonna lie, I didn't think we'd one-shot it, he said proudly. Most of the raid agreed. While we rebuffed, we pushed further, deeper into BFD. As we cleared trash, Bearded Brawler, our druid, suddenly piped up in his slow, southern drawl. Hey guys, did you know I have a really expensive bottle of Elandra oil? The oddness of this question stopped everyone from talking until King James said, What? Yeah. You know, Elandra oil. Like Elandra the Paladin. We all laughed. How expensive am I? Asked Elandra. I know. Like $45, said the bearded brawler. That's more than I'd pay, said James. Yep. But it's from Italy or something. I'll go and get it, said the bearded brawler. It took Brawler until we cleared all the smaller turtles to find his bottle of oil. Tell you what, I'll take you guys a photo, he said. No, let me pull the boss, I said. Wait. Slow down. You gotta see this. He posted a photo to Discord. I have attached the photo below. That's for our audio listeners out there, it's the old chestnut. It's the classic extra virgin olive oil. Extra virgin olive oil. He set it up. The old dad joke. He got him. Got him with the dad joke. Nailed it. Not gonna lie. That looks like good oil, said Decadence. Still not worth $45. Can we fucking pull now, though? Sending pictures to each other like it's fucking Instagram or whatever. We is raiding. Yeah, man. You go and pull whatever you want to pull. So 3, 2, 1. I ran forward. I pulled the giant turtle with a shield throw and dragged it to the middle of the island. The DPS sprang into action. This was it. I was tanking a boss. I felt like a god. My health started out fine. Then it began chunking lower and lower and lower. You're taking tons of damage there, said King James. I waved my mouse cursor around, looking for why I was getting hurt so bad. A melee attack took me so low I blew lay on hands. What was going on? Are you getting stacks of something? Said Elandra. Stacks, dude! Fucking stacks! Of course, sure enough, the boss was applying stacks of an armor-destroying crunch debuff. Take it off me, Brackers. Don't have taunt, though! Typed Brackers in reply. You don't have taunt? I asked in disbelief. Haven't got that rune, mate! It turned out Brackers never bothered to get the taunt rune from Loch Modan. This was the guy advertising himself as full bis. Full bullshit seemed to be what Brackers was. Thinking quickly, I bubbled the stacks. This cleared them initially, but soon they started coming back. When the turtle shield exploded for the second time, I died. Followed closely by our boy Brackers. Nevertheless, Elandra tanked the boss to death in bear form. The raid cheered over my dead body. Decadence looted a cool crossbow from the turtle as we cleared the trash in the underwater tunnel to the snack lady. He piped up about it. This is cool and all, but I wish they'd look more Viking. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a Viking IRL from Sweden and shit. They should add a Viking race to WoW. I really picked the right voice for this Viking. I'm a Viking. You mean like the Vrykul in Wrath? Said Elandra. No, I mean like real Viking stuff. I'm not gonna lie, the game needs more Viking things, said Decadence. There's so much Viking mythology in all the Titan stuff. Freya, Thor. All Storm Peaks is fucking Viking shit, yeah? Yeah, but I want real Viking stuff. Do you reckon they'll add some in the next content phase? Maybe, said Elandra. We cleared the room around the snake lady. Carithia told us that he could find a dagger. He would level a gnome with green hair. None of us knew what to expect when we pulled the snake lady. I assigned Brackers to be on her ad while I took the boss. To our surprise, the snake lady was really easy. I just pulled her out of patches on the floor. Brackers and his ad got frozen repeatedly, but it didn't matter. The snake lady died, and this time, I survived. My cheers in Discord were very real. 3 bosses, 1 shot everybody, spammed the Viking Decadence. Not gonna lie, this is going better than I expected. Next boss, though, let's go, said Brackers. As we cleared through the next tunnel towards the truly unknown territory, our holy paladin suddenly sprang to life, running ahead through a pack of unaware trash. Treasure? He yelled. As we struggled to handle 3 trash packs at once, sure enough, over a little side alcove was a treasure chest. Brackers looted it while we were fighting. It was at this point we learned that the paladin playing this game RPing as a treasure goblin. He had rolled a dwarf just for treasure finding, and whenever a dot appeared on the minimap, his RP dictated he must run straight to it no matter what. We all had a good laugh about this, but I quietly prayed for no more chests to be in this raid. We had fought through some small, shadowy murlocs and found our 4th boss, Gelihast, the giant murloc. With no idea what else to do, we rebuffed and went for the pull. To our amazement, this boss's health dropped so fast. 70, 50, 30. What a free boss. There was a stacking debuff on me, but I seemed to be able to survive it just fine. But when he reached 15%, the boss went immune and withdrew. All hell broke loose. The room filled with little, untargetable, shadowy, marching murlocs. When we touched them, they did a damaging shadow explosion. Dodge the murlocs! Yelled our Viking, but it was too late. We wiped immediately. Well, that certainly was shocking, wasn't it? Said Decadence. We ran back from the entrance was long. Brawler told us about his shoes, which he said were from Canada or Portugal. And they had laces, like real laces. You know what I mean? We all, of course, ignored this comment. King James gossiped with our mage about the Bachelor. I joined in. I fucking love The Bachelor. I don't care who knows it. Alas, we progressed no further into BFD that night. Oh, no. We never even got through the first Murloc phase. In retrospect, we didn't realize you have to leave extra room to account for our ping, which was always over 200. The raid ended with a bang. And Turtle and Fish, the rogue who revealed had actually spent the night writing a poem for King James. Evidently, he had mistaken her for a Landra, as the poem was clearly about a paladin. Here is that poem. This is a poem that I have written for the beautiful voice of King James. They call her the Verrigan's Fister. She blew through the raid like a twister. If you make her list, she'll give you the fist. And none of you fucks can resist her. Honestly, King James was delighted. She loved the little poem. And I will let you know next time how our next raid goes. King shit! No cringe. Thank you for reading my little tale. And I'll see you all in the season of Discovery. Oh my god. Okay. Jesus Christ. A little note out there. Writing a poem about your fellow pug raiders because you like their sexy voice. It's a risky play, but go for it if you want. I'm not sure I would, but you know, you guys do you. You guys do you. I'm just going to say that's not always going to pay off. You know what I mean? Moving on, these are the next in line of our top supporters for this subathon. Smart M and our man Tea Addict. A big thank you to them. It's worth a try, I reckon. I know, right? I know. All right, let's go. Alert, alert, you're getting kicked. Preacher! And a massive fisting to that wonderful chat of yours. There they are. I bring you a brief tale from the darkest, coldest pits of World of Warcraft, where only the bravest of the most naive go. I, of course, am on an adventure to LFR. Mate, I'm gonna be an arsehole. A bit of backstory. I, like many I'm sure, heard the call. When that powerful man, Chris Metzen, in all of his glory, walked out and stood upon that stage and said, "It is time to come home." I knew it was my time to come home. I felt like Reinhardt in that one Overwatch cinematic. I have been called. I must answer. Always. So, like a fucking sucker, I bought Dragonflight. I broke my hiatus. Author's note, fuck Shards of Domination. I took a lot of shit for Blizz, but that was a step too fucking far, and when I bowed out, idiot. Jesus. Picking my character wasn't easy. I prefer plate wearers and have been maining a Death Knight for most of my entire career in WoW. Wrath Baby's where you at. But I was feeling overwhelmed by unholy sheer volume of cooldowns, so it was time to go to the Warrior, my usual backup secondary plate champion. I logged in, found my previous guilds abandoned, and headed out into the pug world like Judge Dredd leaving Mega City 1. Gearing has been a slow process, relying on randos, but I made a fair way into heroic Amyrdrasil, trying to get my logs up so that I can maybe apply to a mythic guild. Note to self, rewatch Preach's video about applying to guilds. Yes. But I always fell the call back to Death Knight. I have a hard time abandoning my long-time main, so from time to time I would log in and play around as a Blood DK. I always knew that tanking was what was for me. Even back in the good old days of Wrath when I thought Frost was the tanking spec, so I would queue in the Dungeon Finder as that. I'm sorry for being one of those people. Frost was okay sometimes. Frost could do. Unholy was great sometimes as well. Never forget, originally, all 3 Death Knight specs were tanks. And DPS. An interesting experiment by Blizz. Didn't last very long. Didn't last very long. But they tried. They gave it a go. I would go in and start lightly gearing, doing mostly outdoor content or M0 just for fun. On this day, though, I would make a mistake and I would regret it, regret it, regret it. I noticed that LFR drops 441 to 447 gear, which was higher than the blues I was getting from the Emerald Dream. Not landing a spot in a normal pug for a while and noticing that the bonus satchel was available for the 2 wings. How bad could it go? And I decided to click that Q button. In my brain, I'm thinking, it's LFR. I'm eligible to go in. What is the worst that could happen? It started off fine. The Q popped for the Molten Incursion, which is the fire wing for all of you sane people out there. I immediately ran to the trash and got clearing, only to notice that I'm using the wrong talents. I don't have mass grip. I don't have slappy hands to gruel all the scorpions up. Big whoops. The other tank pulls another pack of scorpions and strangely stands with them where the ranged are stood. I don't think anything of it. We eventually get to the 2 molten giants that are stood outside Volacross's room and pull them. For some reason, the other tank, named Smart M, kept trying to taunt off the one I was tanking. Weird. I thought nothing to worry about. It's LFR and some people just taunt everything. Maybe he just wants to solo tank it. So I taunt it back and we finish up the trash. We reached Volacross, the big worm. Smart M does a ready check and we prepared to go. Some people sit down to eat, including a priest named T-Addict, who sat back at the stairs to finish his meal. All of a sudden, the fight began. Smart M pulled the boss without any countdown and no one was prepared. But of course, it's LFR. And we quickly recover. Loosely splitting the raid to either side. Evidently, some of these players had done this fight. The first big tank hit goes out almost immediately, and I, half not prepared for it to come out and half morbidly curious to see how much it'll do in this difficulty. Then it hit him. To no one's surprise, it does basically nothing. He continues to tank the snake until the next big hit, wherein I began to do the mechanic properly and swap off him. Everyone vote kick T-Addict! He's AFK and poor! A raid warning went out during the fight. It was Smart M. Apparently our poor priest friend T-Addict hadn't been paying attention when Smart M had blindly charged into the boss and had been left outside the room. It seemed he had died from something that hit through the wall. A moment of silent pleas for the wasted value meal. I thought nothing of it and went back to my rotation. Nonplussed through though slightly miffed. Irked, if you will, that Smart M was trying to draw attention away from the fight to kick another player out. Why? I thought to myself. He'll still get loot even if you kick him. Just wait. He's also not even in the room. Here come the next tank hit. I had aggro and was waiting for the taunt off, but it didn't come. I took the hit and it didn't do anything. 6 stacks. Whatever, I thought. It's not like this hurts. He'll get the next one, I'm sure. Everyone! Vote kick T-Addict! He's AFK and stealing all our loot! Guys, keep voting! We need 3 more! 3 more and T-Addict is out of here! He was constantly spamming the raid warning. More and more coming out from Smart. It would seem that he has made it his mission to get T-Addict kicked out before the boss dies. Another tank hit. He doesn't taunt. I'm at 12 stacks now and it's starting to hurt. Guys, 2 more! 2 more and we can vote kick! 2 more! It's about this time that I realize Smart M is not even playing the goddamn game anymore. He has instead chosen to ignore the boss and focus all of his attention onto T-Addict, who I can only assume has slighted him personally in addition to being AFK. The tank buster comes in again. I don't know how many stacks. It doesn't do a ton, but I pop my CDs and start to get worried. More! More votes! More votes, guys! It was at this time that I noticed that T-Addict had even typed in chat. I'm not sure if he typed before or if he had. These messages have been buried by my DBM. Dude, I'm not AFK. You pulled while I wasn't in the room. More votes, though! Kick T-Addict! He fucking sucks! I'm not AFK. More votes, though! 2 more, dudes! It just wouldn't stop. Another tank hit, somewhere in the low 20s of stacks, and I am in the red. Vote to kick! T-Addict! AFK! AFK leeching! I'm not AFK. Vote to kick! Vote to kick! Now, chat. Please raise your gavels and prepare to pass judgment on this poor soul. I'll admit, I do have a short temper and I'm in general a bit of an arsehole. It's not as if we'd wiped on this boss earlier, and it surely hasn't been a particularly difficult day at work earlier that day, but I had become frustrated. This guy, in his crusade to kick out a single player in a full raid group for the crime of not being ready for him to charge into the boss, was willing to let me die and potentially wipe the raid. So I had to make my voice heard. Why don't you try focusing on fucking tanking and not typing, moron? Vote kick T-Addict! Just 2 more! Also, vote kick the author! He's abusive! Another tank hit. Purgatory gets used. The fight ends. I had either 26 or 29 stacks. T-Addict makes his voice no more, calling Smartem an idiot and complains that he essentially ninja'd the pull and locked him out of the room. Smartem continued to ignore all forms of dialogue as spam how they need more votes to kick T-Addict and me out in the raid warnings. At this point, T-Addict was down to 1 single vote, while I was now at 3. I sided with T-Addict in the chat, calling out Smartem for not even tanking and just being a douche. Smartem finally spoke in text chat instead of raid warning, calling me a moron right back. I then decided to vote kick Smartem from the group, and to my delight, only 2 more were needed before he got the kick. Eventually, while doing Larador trash, T-Addict ended up being kicked from the group. When the pop-up came, I must admit the names of Smartem and T-Addict swapped before my eyes. And I clicked, thinking, 1 more person voted Smartem out. I even typed bye-bye in chat, only to see T-Addict removed from the group. Immediately after I had removed him, Smartem went back to the raid warnings, campaigning for more votes to get me removed. Apparently, I was down to 2. Who are we kicking and why? Asked the druid. Smartem wants to kick me because he can't taunt a boss, I typed quickly. I must shamefully admit I gave myself a smug pat on the back for saying it. I'm an arsehole and don't deserve to be here. I must admit, I started to get heated. Who the fuck was this guy to decide who deserves to play? To be, and an LFR no fucking less. I pay my sub, same as the next guy I was typing out a reply when. Can you two shut the fuck up and play the game? Said the Holy Paladin, who came in with a leg drop from the top rope on both of us. I'm not sure why this sort of broke the spell that was being cast over me. Maybe the realization that I was beefing with a random douchebag in front of 20 strangers made me a little embarrassed. But I did. I don't know who that paladin was, but I shut the fuck up and started pulling trash. To my surprise, so did Smartem. He did a ready check in preparation for Laradon. Someone even put a feast down. This paladin in one comment had turned things around. As we all sat down to eat the feast, Smartem ran into the boss. Motherfucker. He did a ready check in preparation to fight Larry. Someone even put a feast down and things were looking up. And then Smartem ninja pulled the boss. Again, at least this time I saw and watched him sprint towards Laradon before the pull. Positions were assumed. I gripped in the treants and got going. Smartem had full aggro for the first charge, and to no one's surprise, he stood in it with melee. It finally occurred to me, this guy's just a noob. He's just a noob. He's loud, he's obnoxious, and he doesn't know what's going on. He's just a noob. I mean, it hardly matters, right? It's LFR. The group took maybe 30% from the hit. Still, it annoyed me. It annoyed me that this guy who was talking all that noise to me earlier was just a noob. It's still realizing you're angry. It's like realizing you're really angry with a pigeon. Regardless, I did it right and taunted off during the charge. I pulled the boss into the right place at the edge of the fire and readied myself When the charge came, I ran out with my little DK legs, even put an AMS on to mitigate the fire damage. Of course, when the boss then meleeed me for 80% of my health, I had a small panic moment. For those of you who don't know, after Larry charges, his target takes 200% increased damage, fading over 20 seconds. Add that to me standing in the fire away from the healers, and you know why I shit my pants a little bit. Taunt! I typed. Shamefully ignorant that Smart M would actually contribute. Taunt! I put it in all caps. This time hoping to draw some attention. Even to the rest of the raid more than anything. As the second Inferno came out and I ran as fast as my legs could carry me to the safe place, I asked Smart M if he even knew what taunt was. His response, of course, was typed in raid warning. I do know. I just want to watch you die. A realization hit me when reading that. A realization this guy had literally nothing else to do with his fucking time. He was here to cause chaos. He was willing to wipe the raid in LFR for fun. But if we did wipe, I would either have to queue for LFR a second time that day, or worse, spend another second in the same place as him. I entered the zone, and from that point on, I rotated my CDs perfectly for the melee hits. I gripped every ad and pulled the boss to the right spots for good cleave. I solo tanked that boss through that phase and into the next. Even a Smart M ran away from me, foregoing hitting the boss just so that he wouldn't accidentally heal me when I had the healing absorb debuff. I pushed through, and we killed the boss. GG. Said Smart M, who then left the raid group. What a dick, said the Holy Paladin Giga Chad from earlier. Evidently, I missed a few comments in my defense in the chat after Smart M said he would let me die. LFR players, I responded. Then, having realized I had just said that to all the LFR players, I quickly left the group. If nothing else, I am guilty of judging those people of being poor. Coward. Ah, shit. As I returned to Valdrakken and began pondering what I would do for my dinner, the queue popped again. I'd forgotten that I had queued for both wings, and now it was time for the Viridian Weave, aka the Nature Wing. Fair enough, I thought. It couldn't be worse than what I just went through. I accepted and entered. Smart M was the other tank. Hello again, he said to me. I thought about it for a few seconds. No, I typed out and left the group, closed the game, and went to make myself some tacos. My question, though, is to the chat. Was I right to start calling someone a moron? I stand by him being an arse for spamming the raid warning to get someone kicked, but would things have turned out differently if I didn't immediately call him a moron? Or was it doomed from the start? You're not guilty. That guy had one purpose while he was there, was to just fuck around with people, waste their time, and do all that kind of shit. He only had one job, my friends. He had one job, and he went for it every single step of the way. A hero. I could take that. He's a hero. Thank you. Please bring back the transmog competitions. No. They take way, 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 way too much time. All right, our final story is a nice short one. Let's do it. Let's do one more. Why not? My first lesson in English. Oh, God. Who taught you English? Wasn't Brackers, was it? He's from a strange place. My first lesson in English. No names. Okay. Okay, with Dutchy, because I just saw the first line of our tale. All right. Holla preach and greetings from your favorite clog-wearing country, the Netherlands. In the late days of vanilla World of Warcraft and the dawn of the Burning Crusade, my journey in the game began after enduring a lengthy installation period of over 20 hours to get the game working. Eager to play it safe, I chose the path of a human hunter, dreaming of observing the fantastical world from a distance with my lion who would kill everyone and everything. Little did I know that there were no lions near the starting area of the human race. So after hours of looking, getting lost and getting trolled by the lovely community who kept sending me in different directions, somebody kept trying to convince me a wolf was a lion. I ended up using a wolf. Late days of Kata, I assume. Were these stories that go back like 12, 13 years? There are always discrepancies, my friends. Only to find out that I couldn't get a pet, since I had not yet learned Tame Pet. One of the problems was I had broken English, limited knowledge of the game. Accumulating gold proved to be a very difficult challenge for me. However, my world took an unexpected turn when I encountered a player adorned in the most vibrant and fierce orange tabard with an extravagant embroidered golden crown. Isn't that the Olympic tabard? Surely this player must hold the highest status in the game. I couldn't resist the urge to inquire about the double cape that was visible from both the front and the back. After much confusion, I discovered it was in fact a tabard. Naturally, I wanted to purchase it immediately, but it cost 5 gold. I did not have 5 gold. Weeks of grinding before and after school. Oh my god, how old are you? You just started grinding gold for a tabard? Weeks of grinding before and after school. Countless deaths had accumulated me just 1 gold. Why didn't you just level? However, in those weeks, I had reached level 10. How old were you? I got myself a wolf. How old are you? Oh, no. Any guesses? Yeah, how old? How old do you think our friend here is? How old? We are under teenage years. Okay. 10 years old. 10 years old playing World of Warcraft. 10 years old. Okay. I did get level 10 and got myself a wolf. Then a solution emerged in the trade channel. A level 60 or 70 mage offered to boost me through a dungeon. They were called OK Mage. And boosting was a concept I was unfamiliar with. To sweeten the deal, she promised she would pay me a whopping one gold for each run through the dead mines if I would loot everything and give her the cloth. I begged her for 4 runs. She said, okay, but I have to do everything she says. And the trolley of fate shone its light upon me. OK Mage was going to carry me through many levels. The boost through dead mines was excruciating. OK Mage kept letting me die. She would run through all the mobs without pressing any spells. Then, when I hit them, they would turn around and kill me. She just said, res. Nothing else. Every time I died, res. My 10-year-old brain repeatedly lost its way, leading to numerous deaths as I either stayed too close or lagged too far behind. I could never seemingly catch up with her. Yet after about 2 hours of OK Mage weaving through the dungeon, the moment arrived. To trade OK Mage the cloth. She did give me 4 gold. Unfortunately, I couldn't keep the rest of the loot, as it was destined for her friend. In the dead mines, I needed on everything. Cloth, mail, swords, staves. Literally everything. The friend of OK Mage was furious that I had been stealing all the loot. But I couldn't understand why they were mad. I didn't understand the words they were using. It was like trying to read Cyrillic. Or rather, all Azerothian. Nevertheless, the pivotal moment had come. I could finally acquire the most sought after and epic item in the game. The tabard. Arriving in Stormwind, I bought it. You spent your first 5 gold on a tabard. I ran instead of taking the flight path because, you know, English text is silly and I didn't understand any of the quests. I eagerly donned the tabard for the first time. I screamed with delight. my mother, my sister, and even my father gathered around as I prepared for the momentous occasion. Everyone around was looking at the computer, poised for the big reveal of what I had been working on for the last few weeks, glued to this video game. I proudly equipped the tabard. I had bought the wrong tabard. I equipped a dull, grey, white square. I was devastated. Furious even. I started to cry, and while my mother asked what was wrong, I deleted the character and uninstalled the game, saying that it was broken. This is really sad. This is really, really sad. It wouldn't be until my 12th birthday that I tried again with an Orc Hunter, which had a lot of different stuff happen to it, and so that was my first ever lesson in learning English in World of Warcraft. I'm not sure this has anything to do with English, or more that OK Mage abused your character and you stole from her. Thank you for reading my little tale, Mike. All the best to you and the PG fam, and I hope the office goes well. Me too. The Tale of Tobo. And that will bring us to the end of drama time for today, but of course not the end of the stream as of... Let me close this. As of last check, the timer remaining that I will be live on your screens. 59 hours, 32 minutes, and 7